The IMF just gave a huge signal that we're going to a cashless society on November 15th, 2023. IMF says central bank digital currencies to replace cash, and it says there's no time to turn back. Now, I've been expressing this since 2020, trying to share with people the facts, figures, numbers, logic. You're not going to stop a central bank digital currency. But what you can do is understand what's happening and transform your family's wealth timeline by stopping fighting an invisible enemy that you can't stop. And number two, understanding how money flows through the system. And number three, understanding how history repeats itself. Before I continue, none of this is financial advice, it's just my perspective, my paradigm. Don't make any financial moves, that would be foolish. So number one, in 2019, Christine Lagarde said to us that it's inevitable. Digital currencies are coming, CBDCs are coming. Many of the small island central banks have already tested central bank digital currencies. They start with the small countries, they test, and they start to move bigger and bigger. If you look at the Atlantic Council website.org, you basically will see how quickly we went from testing to implementation. So let me give you an example of how the very thing you're resisting and the thing that some of these candidates say they're going to stop, that's just part of their presidential campaign to get you to vote for them, is let's back up to September 11th. Before September 11th, America was free, man. We were free. But something drastically changed after September 11th. And I'm not sharing my opinion on what I think happened on September 11th. Tragic, absolutely tragic. But do you guys remember, because of the fear and the common enemy, that all of our security protocols and freedom got changed in America? You used to be able to walk up to the gate at an airline, pick up your family members, and now you basically have to take your shoes off and get strip shirts just to get on an airplane. And the absolute frustration and low vibration of going through security every single time you travel internationally is absolutely disgusting. But we all resisted that, but now we put up with it because it's for your safety. This is nothing different, family. After 2019 went into a pandemic, there was a shock to the system that changed consumer behaviors. And for your safety, back then they were saying cash is dirty. And Rosie Rios was told to reduce coin and cash usage in 2012. And she said you needed a shock to the system to change consumer behaviors. We had a massive shock to the system that changed all our behaviors. Cash was dirty. Everybody was locked at home. It's the only way you could transact was digital. So that pushed us pretty far, got us to comply and changed the way we did everything. But it didn't take us far enough. Russia invades Ukraine. We took them off the SWIFT system, which is an old archaic banking system that is in the process of transforming to tokenization, digital currency, on-demand liquidity. And it also disrupted supply chain, which will all be on the blockchain. Then they told us cryptocurrency is the worst thing ever from 2017 all the way to 2022. FTX collapse, Celsius collapse, a stablecoin collapse. And their whole narrative changed in 2023. All of a sudden, they went from it's the worst thing ever to global recommendations from the Bank of International Settlements to the G20. And now the IMF stating yesterday that central bank digital currencies can replace cash. And it says this is not the time to turn back. So family, we're moving into digital currencies. Cash will be replaced by central bank digital currencies, and that's how it will be regulated going forward. America will no longer be the dominant superpower in the currencies, I promise you, in the next 10 years. Now here's the caveat. Cash isn't just going to disappear like that, guys. It's not, but it will. And if you properly, strategically place yourself on the right side of this coin, instead of fucking complaining about it and being an armchair quarterback, you could radically transform your family's wealth timeline. You're not going to stop this. Or you can go off the grid in a forest and grow your own food. That's an option. Nothing wrong with that. But if you plan on living inside of a normal society and transacting and going to stores and traveling and continuing to live your life normally as you do now, you're going to have to learn how this system works and how money flows through the system. Number one is the money always flows into the same 1% hands every single time. Here's exactly what I'm doing. I don't know if it'll work for you. I don't trust the system. I just don't. So what I'm working to do is secure my wealth into tier one capital and things that are tangible that I can hold on to. So I have a pretty wild diversification strategy. I don't know if I call it wild, but it's pretty cool. So number one, I use cryptocurrency as an extremely speculative asset. I know that there's no emotion in it. When it goes up, I'm selling. When you're coming in, I'm selling. When you're panicking, I'm buying. Simple strategy. When it goes parabolic from 2024 to 2025, after the Bitcoin halving and the Bitcoin ETFs get approved, and it goes absolutely straight up, as you're thinking all these cryptos are going to go to the moon, I'm selling on the way up, pulling profits, because when you go to get at the top, the exchange is strategically shut down. As I pull profits, my first step is going into tier one capital, which is tax code 7702, which is insurance. The banks teach you how to insure your life. They do not teach you how to insure your wealth. I insure my wealth. So I put into Index Universal Life, tax code 7702. It does a couple things for me. Number one, it guarantees my principal, insures my principal. So when the capital markets come collapsing down, I keep my principal. Number two is I can borrow against the cash value if it's set up properly, tax-free. Number three is it sets me up for tax-free retirement. When you're paying taxes on your 401k, I'm retiring tax-free, and taxes will probably be a lot higher when you retire. And number four, it has a shitload of living benefits that nobody talks about. Oh, and number five, if I don't have a bunch of loans out on the cash value, my family gets a death benefit. Oh, and tax code was created right when the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. 7702 was created when the Federal Reserve was created. I don't know if that's my chance. I'm also in precious metals. So I'm in silver. I'm transitioning into gold to add a little bit gold to my portfolio. Don't have a ton, but it's for barterability and for stability in God's money. I'm in business, diversified across information technology and attention. I use business to increase my earned income, to continue to cycle that through assets into tier one capital to secure, compound, and grow. And number one, that makes me the richest man in the world is my relationship with God and self-development. I follow three principles. I love God with all my heart, therefore I love humanity as I love God. Number two is I treat others as I want to be treated. And number three, I pull the log out of my eye before I pull the straw to yours. And that relationship, take away all the physical, makes me the richest man in the world, because money is just magnetism and money is just frequency. And the highest level frequency is authenticity, love, and gratitude. So I would love to be the richest man in the world, or meet the richest women in the world all together and come together as a puzzle piece. And one source, one goodness coming together to create a beautiful mosaic. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Love you guys. All right, remember, I will never proactively DM you. That's not me commenting. I do not invest people's money. I'll never ask about your crypto portfolio, ever. I have 3 free resources for you. Number one is a 16-page guide, completely free on exactly how I did this. It's in my bio here. Number two is absolutely free. It's absolutely free. We don't get paid by the client to meet with you around understanding how we insure wealth. I'm a licensed insurance agent. I have a team of licensed insurance agents in all 50 states, expanding to Canada in the next 60 days. And number three, I own this company, co-founder, Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. We show you how to do an exit plan so you don't get wrecked in crypto. And that's free for 30 days. So tons of free resources for you. But it's like, how do you do it? It's all free, guys. Test it. See if you like it before you ever try it. Love you guys. See you on the inside.